Hello guys, nice to meet you all. Today I'm going to talk mostly about mobile developing because I like a lot developing mobile apps. Previously, before joining the Web 3, I did many mobile apps in the Web 2. So what I would like to see also in the Web 3 are a lot of mobile dApps because it's not something very common. Now mostly of the dApps are based on the web, so it would be lovely to see a lot of mobile apps. Mobile apps. So if you don't know me, my name is Davide. I started working on the Web 3 in 2021. After that, after many years of experience in the Web 3, in the end of 2022, I founded a company with some other folks, which is Nabla. We are mostly a software company. So what I'm going to talk about is my whole journey in the Web 3. Like I think mostly of you, everyone started developing the first dApp just using all the Kepler API, basically. So everything was in the web. I started working on Vue 3. I did some very simple app in the beginning. One, maybe of the most complex one, was Symphonia, where it was mostly basically DEX based on Osmosis. What we did was to try to create something like a custom adapter that could allow to integrate different type of wallet. It wasn't a thing in that period because you always had to work just with Kepler if you wanted to create something. So it was very complex to enable different wallets to operate in a single application. After that, we also started to working with some other tools, like on Cosmos Swap. If you don't know what is Cosmos Swap, it was basically an outpost of Osmosis in other chains that allowed you to basically do cross-chain swap between different chains, basically. It mostly worked with different wallets. And then after many dApp, I started to have the possibility to also start building some mobile wallet. Mobile dApps. The first one that I built was that one, called Essence Mediacom 3, which basically is a mobile dApps that behave at the same time as a wallet, but it is also dApp. It is very strange, but it basically is a dApp that allow this particular brand, which is Essence Mediacom, to create loyalty program for their employees. It is all based on React Native. The most good part of it is that we found a way to share the code between the web, but also the mobile, because when I started working, the hardest part was to create an abstraction between all the wallets, and also to have the possibility to share the code between web and mobile, because it's not common. And I didn't want to reinvent the wheel every time that I started an dApp from zero, because it is useless. You lose many times. Even if you want to scale, if you want to do something, something that can be shipped faster. So we started to do other mobile dApps after that one. And one, which is this one, where we are working on in Nabla, is the hardest one because it has a lot of requirements. So just to give you a small context to understand what are the requirements, we're basically building a white label mobile dApps. And also we're building a SaaS, built on Cosmos. So we have two parts. One is mostly based on the web, so we have React and Vue 3 dApps on the web, and also we have a white label mobile app. So what we wanted to do is to share the same code across all these environments, because mostly of the function, the logic are the same, even the service. So we didn't want to do everything from scratch anytime. So the application itself, you can see it like a SaaS to build loyalty program in short terms. We have many requirements because the most important requirements when you start to build something on the mobile are performance, because it's not like the web, because if you have to allow people to use a mobile app even on low-end device such as Android, especially because Android sucks sometimes, you have to be sure that reactivity is fine, because too many rendering can create lag, also can use a lot of battery. It is a very big problem. So what I wanted to solve was performance, server state. We will see what is server state for me, reusability, and developer experience, because in this year, what I found that is very strange is the learning curve of a front-end developer. When you join the developing of a dApp, sometimes someone says that is harder than building maybe a smart contract in some sense, because you need to know a lot of things of the backend, but also you need to know how to integrate them in the front end. But what I would like to do also in my team, when I work with new guys that join Nabla, is to resolve this problem so anyone who joined the developing of Web3 app can find it simple like developing a normal Web2 app, because mostly of the people previously before joining the Web3 were working in the Web2, so they knew how to work with normal account, normal management of data, but they don't know how to work with Web3 accounts. Like I said before, because we have different applications, one on Vue, one in React, and one in React Native, the idea is to have something that can work like a framework agnostic, because you can use whatever you want, even the JavaScript vanilla. You are not bound to anything. That work on multi-chains, because right now, all the application that I described before doesn't have a chain, we don't have a token, we don't make things like that. We just use something that already exists, so we deploy some smart contracts, we use good things from other teams, and ship, so we can ship fast basically. So we have to support multiple chains, because we have something on Neutron, something on Juno, and the other things for sure is to support mobile, because what we want to do as a mission, or at least also my mission, is to bring the blockchain in the pocket of anyone. If right now, mostly of the users on the crypto are all people that know a lot about the Web3, they knew how things works. Mostly of them maybe are DeFi user, but if we want to also, I don't know, expand our user base, and also we want to gather new user, we should be able to allow even, I don't know, my father, my grandmother to join the ecosystem. It will be nice. Even if they don't know they are using the blockchain, but we can give to them the advanced, the good things of the blockchain actually. So what we developed was an internal tool. It started like something internal, which is Quirks. It's basically a wallet adapter. So it's something that, if you are familiar with the concept of tRPC, it's like an account manager, and also it is a router, because allow you to forward your message to Quirks, from Quirks to wallets. And with wallets, I mean anything. So you can have an extension, you can have account abstraction, you can have a smart account, you can have a native wallet or React Native, and things like that. But I don't want to focus mostly on Quirks, because it's just a piece of all the stack. But what I would like to describe to you is the whole stack that I'm using to create something that can scale, because when I mostly work on the Web2, what I like, what I like a lot from the Web2 are all the technologies that are available. There are many libraries that you can use in the React ecosystem. One of the most good one right now, at least for me, is Timestamp Query. If you're not familiar with it, it's just a library that allows you to manage asynchronous state from anything. Basically, mostly of the people use it to cache, store all the data from a server, and you have all the states for loading, error, retrying. You can even create offline first application, which is a thing that anyone is now discussing in the React world. So what I wanted to do is to bridge between the good knowledge of the Web2 and the React ecosystem and the good things that we are doing on the Web3. So I started to say to myself, how can I glue all these things together without creating a very big abstraction? Because very big abstraction scares me. It's very hard to maintain something that abstract too much some things. So what we did basically was to create a small TRPC concept, which is Quirks. So it just, you can see it just like a manager. So it just manages all the accounts that the user have. And if you look at the journey of the user, in this case, what they do is, whatever client do you have, even if you are on web, mobile, desktop, Vision OS, Mac OS, it doesn't care, because if you're also using React Native, the good part of React Native is that you can build anything mostly on all the platform available. So what do is connect to a wallet that you have on the right. So you have many wallets. I just write some of them. They are not all full listed, but you can have native wallet, where with native wallet, I mean, in React Native, you have the possibility to create something that you can create a mnemonic. You can create something that is stored in a secure way in your device. You can even leverage enclave inside the device, so you don't have to expose your mnemonic. So it's something that you can do. It's not up to the structure, where I mean, it's not something that Quirks manages itself, so you can have a different class, a different logic that you manage on your own, and that you can test on your own without the need to be binded to Quirks. And then after the connection with the wallet, you get all the data back to the user. And what happened here is, usually, mostly of the dApp that I build, but that also I saw in the past, choose to manage all the data on their own. So that means that after connection, they started to do a query to the server. So you had to manually trigger an asynchronous callback. But in that case, what happened is I just used the reactivity and TanStack query, because TanStack allows you to have reactive query. So when you connect a wallet, it gets notified that you have an address. And when you have an address, a query starts to the server. It starts to query the balance to the user. So you can have what you want, whatever server. You can have, I don't know, an indexer, or even Jasco, some RPC stuff, or whatever you want. You get the result back, and then you can display the data to the user. And the most part that I like about this schema is something that I think that maybe no one right now is doing, but not sure, is to use another part of TanStack, which are mutations. If you're not familiar with the concept of a mutation, basically, when you have to do something with a server, usually a server can do two things. Can allow us to retrieve data, but also allow us to mutate our data that are stored in the server. If we think about the wallets, if we think the wallets as a server, okay, they can be something that mutate our state. No? Because when usually interact with a wallet basically allows us to sign our transaction, then we can broadcast it, and when we broadcast it, if everything goes well, we are mutating the state. And if we use this schema, so we use mutation, when we mutate something, after a good execution of a mutation, what we can do is to automatically invalidate data, but we can invalidate data in a specific way. So we don't have to revalidate the whole data, but we can even validate only what we need. So if we are doing a swap, we can say, OK, when you do a swap, you are mutating the state, where what you are mutating is basically the amount of token that you have. So when you do a swap, then revalidate the query balance. And also, the whole schema, as you can see, everything is a standalone block. So everything works alone. Everything is testable alone. It's not all glued together. You have some glue, which is TanStack, just to connect things, just to have some cache, just to simplify the validation of all of the whole things. But you can add here whatever you want. That's just my architecture. After building this, that's what we get as a result. Internally, at least, what we get is easy onboarding for front ends, because I try to allow them to read old code base versus new code base using this schema. And they found that this one is much easier to read, is much easier to understand what you're doing, because they don't, maybe they don't even want to know what is a wallet for some case, because they just build, they can just build, I don't know, an app, like if you're building something in the Web 2. What we also find very useful from this schema is to speed up the release of the feature, because what I would like to see when I also develop in the Web 3 is to be more focused on the feature instead of all the complex stack that we have in your back. And also, we can share now code between web and mobile, and we can also test the code in an easier way, because mostly of the code that we write now are just pure function that you can test alone. So it's much simpler to organize the code. And in fact, that's what we get. Basically, that thing summarizes everything. So if you have something that can be reused both on web, native, and everything, what you can achieve is a universal dApp. If you are familiar with the React world, many people now are talking about universal apps. So I just extended this concept to the Web3. So what we get are universal dApps. So you have a single code base that could basically run both on web and native. I just showed 3 screens, but you can also be able to run the same code on Vision OS, Mac OS, Windows, whatever you like. Even the operating system for the TV, if you want. But I don't know if someone want to build dApps for TV. And basically, that allows you to be more focused on your feature instead of rewriting every single time in the code. And if you are also able to ship something on native, the user experience on the native side is much, if compared to the web, is much good. I like all the micro interaction, all the interaction that you have on native instead of the web ones. So just to get some conclusion, what I will do in the next month. So Quirks started like an internal tool, and I just choose to release it 21 because many times we get something from the community, so it's also good to do some give back to the community. So in the next month, I will try to be more focused to improve the SSR support, improve the TypeScript support, where it means it already supports TypeScript, but what I want to do is also to add some auto-suggestion when you write code, so it's much easier to write code. I want to improve a little bit more the reactivity, because right now it's already good. What we have is fine-grained reactivity. If you don't know what it means, it actually means if you change something in your code, it only re-render what it changed, not everything. Not everything re-render. And also I will improve the life cycle of the whole architecture. Just the last thing, I also started thinking about something much complex. Maybe it's not more related to Quirks itself, maybe it's something else. So I would like to achieve something much greater, which is a very big aggregator that can allow anyone to have a single library that allow you to manage both AVM, Cosmos, Solana, Bitcoin wallet all together, both on the web and both on the mobile. So you should be able to create aggregator apps, which is something that now I think is more common for some projects at least. And that's all. Thank you. If you want to scan the QR code, inside it you will find also some GitHub links. There is a starter for creating a universal dApp. And also inside the same repo, you will find the architecture that I described above. There is an implementation just for small things, just for ascend and the revalidate balance. Thank you.
Questions?
Thanks. This is really cool. So the universal dApp, what is it Cosmos specific, or when you're building this out, you kind of envision like a multi-chain sort of universal approach, but are you going to be adding in all that support, or how are we going to be able to add in like other support for like other chains, and what's that management going to be like?
Yeah. So right now it just works with Cosmos. Actually you have some API that allow you to create any wallet that you want. So right now what you can find inside the Quirks repo are just all the adapters for all the existing wallet, and also for Wallet Connect and things like that. I think in the next week I will also release an adapter for creating native wallets for React Native. But because the API are very generic, you can build whatever you want. And for the AVM and things like that, right now we don't support AVM. Is the next step that I showed in the last slide. And also in that case, you will be able to do whatever you want. You can create things on your own, because as I showed in the architecture, everything works on its own. So if you want to create, I don't know, a mobile app where you have something that works both on AVM and Cosmos, you can do it. It's up to you. What I will give to the people are just simple API that allow them to connect that wallet to Quirks, basically. That's all.
Anyone else? All right. Thank you, Davide.
Thank you.